Right, I believe I can't see very much, mind you. Apologies while I sort myself out here. What's going on? Okay. Looks like my camera's decided to reverse itself. Bear with me. Right, okay. I think you're on. I think I'm on. Am I on? Let me just double check. Bad. So hopefully I'm live. Can anyone confirm I'm live? I think I am. I can see myself on the screen, so I must be. Let's get the chat back on. Hey, hi Chris, all right, mate? Hi Sean, welcome to the live stream again. I've really got to set this up better. I don't know what's going on with it really. I mean, I've tried connecting my video camera up on my PC, but it didn't like it. Studio 10 in Hollywood, Bill. That's Battery Maker. Welcome, Battery Maker. Nice to see you. Did a sort of pocket radio, one with a handle antenna. Okay. Well, for all of you that are joining me new and haven't been to this channel before, hey, hi Wenlock. You managed to stay up. Sorry about altering all the times there. I don't know what your name is, Wenlock. I'll call you Wenlock though. It must be about 10:30 at night there now. So thanks for joining me. I did try and start it at 12 o'clock today, which would have been 9 o'clock for you, but unfortunately my good lady has been away on a hen do this weekend, and she didn't get back till quite a bit later than expected, so I sort of hung around to see her before I went live, so that's why I'm a bit late. So it's all her fault. John Burnham, good afternoon, John. How are you, mate? I don't think I've seen you in here before, but welcome to the channel. So quite a few things to deal with today. Again, been pretty busy with photography this week, so I've done a lot of work on radios, but then saying that, I have actually, I've gotten quite well. I don't know how to stop this. I mean, oh, that is your name, Wenlock. Cheers. 10:30, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit late for you guys down under. Then the trouble is, it's late for people down in Australia and New Zealand, and yet it's early for people over in the US in certain areas. So it's difficult to know where to pitch it really. Like the Battery Maker saying it's 8:30 there, and it's in the morning, and it's 10:30 in the evening for you, Unlock. So yeah, I don't know. I suppose if I was an hour earlier, 12:30, that would mean it's 7:30 in the morning in the States. So I don't know. Oh well, I try. You can always watch it afterwards anyway. Hi, Colin Pamplin from sunny Sussex. Yeah, it's not so sunny today, but it's blooming warm here. I think it's National Lawnmower Day because my neighbour to my right got petrol lawnmower going through his garden for about an hour, and the neighbour to the left has literally just switched his petrol mower off as I've gone live, which is good news. Hi, Mike, Racing Demon. See, you're doing what you do best. Do you mean drinking, Mike, or fixing radios? Drinking, probably. Anyway, well, I have got something to help me through the live chat because the voice does get a bit croaky. I can always shake down for some more now. The missus is back. Let's right. What have we been up to? So yeah, the first radio I was going to show you. I didn't show you this the other week. Let me see if I can just get you in a bit closer. Bear with me. Hopefully, let's get you in on the bench a bit better. Here we go. Oh, too much. Hopefully that's not making anyone feel ill. Chat's working on the phone today, look. I keep mentioning the Shorrock radio. This little beauty is the Shorrock radio. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, that is not looking very well, is it? But the reason it's not looking well is because I've had to strip it. The owner wants it totally restored from scratch if I can. Now, I don't know, probably nobody knows this radio. It's quite obscure. It's actually a vintage airband radio. And I think it's one of the very early airband radios. And what it is, it's a Decca TP 85, I think it is. Decca TP 85, if that's right. I'll double check myself there. Yeah, it's a Decca TP 85. So I've been working on this for quite some time. Let me see if I can find the chassis. So this is the case. Basically what I'm doing with the case, this was the original front that came off of it, and as you can see there's a whacking great chunk of plastic snapped off the corner. It's got a break in the center, but what you'll notice is it does say Decca because it didn't originally. It had this over the top, Shorrock Mark V. So basically what they've done is they've taken the FM part of the circuitry out of this and somehow converted it to VHF AM. So as it receives the airband, and it looks like from 110 up to about 144 megahertz. So they've messed with it. No one's got a circuit diagram for one of these. Nobody really knows a lot about them at all. When I got it originally, let's just put that to one side out of the way, it wasn't working. But before we go into that, I got the donor radio, a Decca TP85. You know, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but one is a lot darker than the other. I think this one's just sun faded. I don't think it was grey. I think it was possibly black originally. It's in good condition on the front. It's got a couple cracks on the top, but that's not too bad. And certainly it hasn't got the snapped off piece in the corner. So the idea is to refix this piece to that, and then we've got a whole display again, a whole dial panel. So that's the idea. Let's put that to one side. Cold and wet there, Wenlock, is it? Get the weed killer out when it warms up. Yeah, Bill, trust me. The bench is clean, but the rest of the room is a hell of a state. I didn't remove all the packing. I've got some radios to show you in a minute that I've unpacked today, and I haven't had time to unpack them, basically. Well, get rid of the packaging. So anyway, that's the story with the case. And there's a couple other issues. It's got a break in it here, but hopefully I can pick that glue out and redo it. Yeah, that's like a family heirloom. The guys had it from new, and I think it's an early 60s set. So this is the board that I've restored. I've replaced all the old AF capacitors with the old AF 115s and 116s, I think it was. I think there's 114 in there as well. So there was 3 of them on this board. There's 2 in the FM section as well. Now I've had to refit an AF 114 here because this is like the oscillator transistor, and I didn't have an AF 124 to replace it with. Almost into 2M. I should polish up, yeah. It's going to take a bit of polishing, Bill. Anyway, so I've recapped this. I've put new transistors in it. I've refurbed that transistor. AM, long wave and medium wave is now working fine, but the airband will not work. So I spent a long time on this already, but basically I've gone through the schematic and tried to draw out what they've taken out of it and what they've added back in. So I've pretty much got there now. I've worked out what's missing out of it, and there's quite a lot missing. I can see what they've done pretty much, and I've just circled some of the components that are missing. And there's an additional capacitor that I put across the tuning gang up here. This is not in the original set. I've just unsoldered that so as I can test it, and it is testing. Well, I can't see the reading on it, but I think it's around about 6 picofarads. So that they're probably using that to stretch the bandwidth out, and it's got to be switched in with the FM switch, but I haven't quite worked out how that's done yet. The other thing is we've got these resistors on the back end of the board that have been added in. So it sounds like the dogs are going mental down there now. Mummy's home. So that's ongoing. It needs a fair bit of work. I mean, I've got to either replicate these things that hold the ferrite on, because they've both snapped off. It's in a bit of a sorry state, to be fair, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. So it keeps buffering when locked, does it? Yeah, I'm not sure why. My Wi-Fi is pretty good up here, as long as it's connected to the right Wi-Fi. Is anyone else having problems with buffering? It could be my internet connection. All right, no for Tony. Bill, you're asking if I've got to juggle any of the bias resistors. No, because what we tend to replace let me just show you quickly. So this is, let's just grab one out of here. So this is an old AF114. That actually, that's probably not the right one to show you, because I ain't got any. So this is an old AF117. I don't know if you can see that. Possibly not. That's an old AF117 transistor. So basically you replace that with an AF127, which is one of those. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. If I hold that up behind it, you can probably see the difference there. The legs are a hell of a lot shorter, which makes it real difficult to stretch them out in a lot of cases. But basically it's the same junction and the same transistor in a different can, Bill. So that's the only difference. It's the same piece of germanium inside there. And these don't suffer from the tin whiskers, the AF127s. So that's what I put in there. But it is working now. I just cannot get the oscillator running. Well, I don't know if it's the oscillator or whether it's got some weird switching on it. I don't know. Oh, it don't seem. It just seems to be Wenlock. So it might be your Wenlock, your Wi-Fi Wenlock. Right. So last week we pulled out Tony's. Nice of you to join us again, Tony. Tony's Magnavox, and started having a look at it. Here is the Magnavox, complete with my notes, and it's still not working. Yeah, I think you're right there, Mike. I can tell you what's in the output stage if you want to know. And probably won't be able to tell you now. Yeah, so it's a TR7. So the driver's an OC81D mic, and the finals are OC81s. So yeah, you're right there. Bang on. you must have got a good size screen there, Mike, to suss that out. But yeah, you're dead right. So originally they were AF114s, 115s, and 116s, the IFs and the oscillator. So anyway, getting back to this one, hopefully you can see there. Let's get a bit more light down. So I've moved on with this a little bit. I've recapped it, and you can see the caps in there. These blue things, absolutely shot. They were pretty bad. Just having a quick look at my picture there. Yeah, you can see me, bro. Yeah, so these blue, well, violet coloured things, they were all shot. I mean, really, really bad. So I would assume that that has taken out, certainly took the oscillator transistor out. Now, you can see there's another transistor in there. Well, I hope you can. I've just popped a Russian GT322B in there at the moment, which I looked it up in the Towers book, and it said Towers is a transistor equivalent. Yeah, if it ain't broke, fix it until it is. Hi Graham, how are you? Another Graham. So yeah, I looked in the equivalent book, and it suggested an AF 124 as an equivalent. So I thought, well, an equivalent for the AF 124 is the Russian GT322B, so I'll try that. But still can't get the oscillator running at all. I've scoped all over that section and can't get a waveform at all. So luckily for me, Tony has got another one. So Japanese Elna lyrics, you think, do you? Elna's normally pretty good, Bill, but there's no markings on them at all. I mean, they just say K3 with a dot on them. So anyway, Tony's very kindly sent me this one. Now, it does differ slightly because this has got like a silver scale and the other one's got a black scale. I've not tried this one yet, but he's basically saying that I can use this one for spares if I need to, because I still need an oscillator transistor. I've ordered something that's supposed to be an equivalent, but I cannot get a 2SA160. Just can't get it at all, which is this one here. So looking at this radio, it has been recapped. And I mean, I don't think that's me, although I do use these blue and gold Panasonics, but not sure on the other. So someone has recapped this. The other thing that I didn't realise, it's got this battery snap on it, though I thought that was 9 volt, but it actually isn't. It's 4.5 volts, believe it or not, and it uses like an adapter. If I got one here. No. Yes, I have. So it should have one of these in it. I don't know if you knew that, Tony, but it should have one of these in it. So that should clip on there. And you put your 4 AA cells in, and that sits in there. So it isn't a 9 volt. And the giveaway is in here. It says it's Everready 915s, ever RCAs, Everready E9 times 4. Ah, Rob, I'm glad you joined us, Rob, because last week you said that you'd sent me an email or sent me something about a hacker. And I've never gotten anything from you, Rob, so glad you joined us. If you can send me that, my email, I'll pop it on here if anyone else wants it. Where am I? Come on, where's me at? So it's Graham at Radiocruncher.com. So if anyone wants to send me an email, that's the email address to get me. Rob, I don't know what you were saying about the hacker, whether you were coming through eBay, YouTube, email, Facebook, I'm not sure. And thanks to everybody that joined my Facebook page after last week. Again, you can go on my Facebook page and like that as well if you're into that. So what I'll do is we'll just connect this one up and make sure this one's running. And I'm not going to do it now because I wasted a lot of time on the live stream last week messing about with this radio. I could have been looking at other stuff. So I'm not going to try and repair anything live this week. You'd be glad to know. It won't go on for hours and hours of me rambling on then. So yeah, Rob, if you could email me whatever it was you were asking, then fire away. So let's have a look. Well, that one is working, which is good news. What I don't really want to do is rob this one and leave it bare. So obviously this is working. I just want to get my scope. Because with the last one I was probing the oscillator transistor and I could get no waveform on it at all. Ramble on. It's all good fun. Ah, gives you something to do on a Sunday, doesn't it? Most people have a chill out day on a Sunday, so I do as well. So I mean, you can't see the scope there. Make sure that's on times 10. It's going to go down to the oscillator transistor. Yeah, and I mean, my whole screen is full. So I'm just looking at the, you can't see this, but you know, I can definitely see a decent waveform, which is altering in frequency as I turn the tuning dial. So, you know, that other one, let's go. Shut up. Shh. The other one, the oscillator, definitely isn't running. I just wanted to quickly double check that for my own sanity, really. Let's unplug that one because it interferes with everything. All right, okay, Rob, no worries. You said you sent me an email, but I don't know whether you did or it stayed in your outbox. You never know with this modern stuff, do you? All this modern technology. As I say, I tried this morning to rig up my my Windows laptop to stream with my HD camcorder, but the laptop only does HDMI out. It won't take HDMI in. It said something about my encoding was wrong or something, and I give up in the end. I really do need to take some time out, I think, and study all my connections and equipment just to see if I can get on live with a decent setup rather than the phone. I mean, the phone, to be fair, isn't doing a bad job. So what I'm going to do, I have got another transistor coming. It's not a 2SA160, which is the correct one. It's a 2SB something or other. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It should have been here by now, but it isn't. So what I'll probably try in the week is I'm going to pop this transistor out and put it in the other set. I've put another tuning cap across it to try and to rule the tuning cap out. So something in this area. It could even be the coil, a break in the coil. But I think the capacitors were so far out that it's done one of the transistors, at least one. It might have even gone further into the radio. But I have got an output on it, so the output stage is fine. So that's that one. So that should hopefully, Tony, fingers crossed, not that I can cross my fingers that well these days, but fingers crossed, that will sort the Magnavox out. The other one that I was working on, and this is done now. This is the little Philco. This one is finished. This is the Philco T68. Let's just pop a battery in it quickly for you. All I would say with this one is the speaker is pretty shocking. I mean, it's terrible, to be honest. Really bad. So let's turn it on. Bit of Neil Diamond there for you, look. So, Tony, that one is done, mate. I haven't looked at any of the others yet because I've been working on that Shorrock, the shocking Shorrock. Yeah, I can't remember. Let me just have a quick look at my eBay and I'll tell you what transistor I've ordered in. I've searched high and low for all the equivalents. Trust me, I literally scoured the whole of the internet trying to find some decent equivalents, and the only one I came up with for a decent price was, let me go into my eBay purchases. Yeah, it was a 2SB156, Bill. A 2SB156, which I've got in to hopefully pop back in place of it. Whether it'll work or not, obviously the Russian transistor doesn't work. Whether that one will work or not, I don't know. But it was only £2.99 in UK money. So I thought that was quite a good price. These old vintage transistors are getting hell of a price, you know. You know, if you haven't got any and you need them, you know, you can be paying, well, up to a tenner for an old vintage transistor. I've got loads of transistors there, but nothing for these old Japanese radios. They're really hard to get hold of. Let's go back to chat. Yeah, so that's one down, Tony. About 75 still to go. Right, so yeah, as I say, I haven't touched the lovely old Thunderbird car. That is a real beauty. I think you ought to send me this one, Tony, really, because it's 1964 as well, which is the year I was born. So next time you go over there, Tony, another 1964 Thunderbird, please. All right, for Graham. Birthday's in November, so you know it's time. It's still time. And to say, I've still got the little Zenith to do. Oh, one other one that I have had a look at this week, and that is this one, which was the Zenith FM AM Zenith Royal B21. Yeah, they are expensive, Graham. I mean, if you look up AF 127s now, they're about averaging about £4.5. The trouble is, like, the big dealers now know that they're worth money, and although from like a smaller company you can pick them up sort of a £5 and under, the big boys know that they're getting scarce and their prices have gone through the roof. Yes, that is a Philco, Bill. Sorry, you weren't here last week, but yeah, that is a Philco. It's an NT11. Again, no circuit on that. This Zenith Royal B21. There is an issue with this, and I'll show you what it is in a minute. It's very strange. But I've sort of got it better, but it still ain't good enough on one end of the scale. I'll show you what I mean. Again, there's absolutely no service info. Well, there is service info on this, but again, I've got to buy it. and I think from memory it was $9 to buy it. Again, from a site in the States that specializes in Zenith schematics. It's a shame the Radio Museum, you subscribe to Radio Museum and they haven't got these diagrams. Incidentally, the Magnavox, I couldn't get a diagram for that. I did in the end. Where is it? So the Magnavox I now have a schematic for, but believe it or not, and I had to send off to Sam's for this in the States. I printed that out on an A3 because it's easier to read. But that was $15. So, but it is literally the only service information I can find on the AM84 anywhere on the internet. So it was that or nothing really. Are you in New Zealand, are you, Graham? Oh, wow. Yeah, shipping is getting worse and worse. I mean, I use UPS over here, which they got a flat rate for up to £50 insurance, which is pretty reasonable. But you use any of the other companies and you're looking 12-15 quid to send a radio, an average size radio, to anybody. Anyway, getting back to this Zenith, let's hook it up and I'll show you what I mean here. I think, yeah, it's not actually screwed in, I've just got it rested back in. But if you see in the circuit board in the back, this is an AM/FM radio, and in here is our FM aerial built into the cover. I don't know, did I tack it back in with one screw or not? No, I didn't. So yeah, you can see it there, look. So the FM aerial runs all the way around inside the front panel. And we did test this radio last week and it did work. So it was going to be like not really anything I can do to it because it's already done. But having investigated it a bit further, there are issues. Let's get the power on it. This is a 9-volt radio now. So Tony, you're going to need a couple of these, mate. Little, it's actually 6 volt, isn't it? Not 4.5. It's 6 volts, that radio, not 4.5. It's 6 volts. So it's 1.5 volts a cell, and it's a 4-cell radio. That's the Magnavox. I'm going round in circles here. Let's just connect this up. So we're in FM. Let's go over this side. So I've done a dial alignment on it. It's not going to work now, is it? That's because I haven't got it screwed in properly. There we go. So we got 100 megahertz, which is classic FM over here. Working fine, really good. As we get over here, it gets much weaker. And that, believe it or not, that you can't hear, is BBC Radio 2, which is normally booming out. And if I touch the tuning cap, that's not brilliant, is it? If I put a bit better aerial on it. Then take it off. So we've got a very strange issue with the oscillator on this side. Is dying off for some reason. It works fine from about, say, 94 onwards, but 94 down to 88 is pretty shocking. Now, there is no service information for this. So basically your FM oscillator is this little one here. It's got a little picture inside here which tells me which one's which. Look. So I know the FM RF is up here. The FM oscillator is here. So basically I've tweaked both of those to try and get that better. I couldn't initially get the Radio 2 at all. So let's find something to point with. So the only way I could pull Radio 2 in was to tweak this coil here. So just by opening it up or squeezing it up, you can alter the bandwidth of the radio. So I've done that and got Radio 2 in there, but it's still very weak. I've gone through the IF cans, the FM IFs, and tweaked all of those. I've got it better, but still not acceptable on FM, on that bottom half of the band, which is strange. So there must be one of these little capacitors possibly that's pulling it down, or it could be a resistor, but these are newer resistors by the looks of it. They're not the old carbon ones, these are the metal film ones. So not sure. You've got a few of these, Tony, have you? Chat's disconnected. It's disconnected my chat. In fact, am I still live? It looks like my Wi-Fi's disappeared. Okay. No internet connection, it says. Oh, you got a few of the battery boxes, Tony. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying, Tony. I mean, as I say, you're getting sort of 94 up to 108, okay, but for some reason down sort of 92 back to 80, it's pretty bad. Hi Dan, welcome to the chat, mate, to the stream. My chat dropped out then because the iPad decided it didn't want to be connected to my Wi-Fi and it was going to try a different Wi-Fi. God knows. So if anyone's got a Zenith Royal B21 schematic, that would be really appreciated. It's somewhere, there's an issue, I think, in the FM oscillator somewhere. AM it works fine, no issues on AM. So that's another ongoing one that I have had a quick go at. So that's where I am with the repairs and updates from last week. Now I've got some more bits and pieces in. Tony sent me the Magnavox and he's also sent me this one as well, which is a lovely little radio. It's a National Panasonic again. I did one of these for Tony, not this particular one, but another one for Tony not very long ago, and that was pretty impressive. Really well made radio. I think it had an extra IF stage in it, so it was really a good performing little pocket radio. Now this one, I've done a little bit of research. I unboxed it earlier. I managed to find an original brochure for it from National Panasonic. Down here, RF 511. Looks like it was available in orange as well, Tony. So that's another one for you to look out for, mate. So it's only 250 milliwatt output, so it's not very high output, but it says it takes 1 006p battery. A 006p. Now, Bill, you may know what that is. A 006p. Bizarre. So again, there is no schematic for this. Can't find a schematic. I've not gone mental trying to find one because I've only unboxed this about an hour ago. So I've had a quick look on the Radio Museum and around other places and I can't find one. It's an RF511 FM AM. And I mean, look at that diddy little aerial. That's really nice, isn't it? It's got a full 180 degree on it to put it up. That's smart, I like that. I wonder what this it says on the back here, 9-volt radio battery, 006p, so whether that's a PP3. FM AM switches on the back, we've got a headphone socket there, tuning dial and on off volume. So let's find a screwdriver, pop the back open. My tools are a bit crammed in today. Hate opening the backs on these. You think someone would provide a big thick screwdriver that you can get in and get those out with. Hate having plastic stuff. Okay. So it is a 9-volt battery. I'm assuming it's a PP3 will fit in there. Whether a PP3 is a 006p, I don't know. So let's turn it, make sure I turn it off, put my current limiter right down. I think from memory, Tony, this one was, again, not performing very well on FM. Yeah, I can't get Sam's, Bill. Well, I got Sam's for the other one, but you know, $15 is a lot really, just for a download of just a one-page schematic really. And when you're repairing stuff for people, it's really, you know, you can't really charge that sort of money out every time for schematics. If I need like 2 or 3, you know, we're really up a creek without a paddle, aren't we? Right, so Tony's saying that AM's fine, but FM's not so good. So let's see what position we're in at the moment. So start it off on AM. That's probably my light. No. Can't turn that one off. Something's interfering with it. Sounds like Hamilton's. Let's say Hamilton. All right, Bill. Yeah, I'll do that. For some reason, as well, I can't seem to keep a log of the chat, so I tend to lose the chat. Yeah, I know, Graham. Sometimes you've got no choice, though, have you? You know, if you need something to get something fixed, what can you do? I mean, Sam's, their photo facts are absolutely brilliant. you know, as a repairer, I'd happily pay for that quality of I think it's $21 for a full SAMS. I think it's $15 for just a schematic. But yeah, I'd happily pay the money, because end of the day, they do put together a cracking repair guide for them. They've got photos and repair tips and everything. Okay, Bill, yeah, I'll look that up. TSM, let me make a note of that a minute. So, Tony, are you saying that the FM works better with the case actually snapped back together on the Royal B21? Is that what you're saying? TSM 115 Zenith Royal. Oh, on the Panasonic. Oh, right. Yeah. I think the FM aerial, there's a connection here. So what I'll do, Tony, is I'll just put this aerial clip on it for now. But yeah, it won't work at all with the case off. So the connection is up here. So that's the FM aerial there. So let's switch it across to FM. Let's get all this rubbish out of the way. Try it now. That's classic FM on 100, look, so that's good. Good reception as well. Goes up to 108 as well.
People are still spoiling you. That comes lots of love from your grandchildren, Zach and Emma, of course your husband Robin, and your daughter Tina. Wishing you all the best.
That sounds pretty good, Tony.
Sing along to that one. Yeah, that's what we call it.
In terms of growing and potting, but of course that doesn't mean that
that's Radio 5. Oh, so that's what Radio 2 should sound like. Says as it's disappeared now. Could be a dirty switch in the back of that, Tony. That might be an easy fix, that. I mean, to me, that's performing brilliantly. So, oh, chat's disconnected again. It's disconnected me again. I'm going to have to make it forget my usual Wi-Fi network, I think. Let's cancel the auto join on that. Go back to this normal network and we're going to auto join that one. Right, that should stop me getting kicked off again. I've got two separate connections here anyway. Well, not two separate connections. I'm not running the live chat off of the iPad. I've got it running off of my phone, so hopefully live chat will be all right. It could be the aerial connection, Tony. It does sound brilliant, mate. So all we've got is this little tiny peg here. And and it looks like that makes contact with this little bit of metal there. I mean, that is bent a bit funny. So what we can do is just, actually we'll try it without me doing anything to it first. Let's just stick a normal battery in it then. Let's pop the case back on. Stick the aerial up. That's a diddy little aerial, isn't it? God, where would you get one of those if it broke?
That's your question.
That sounds fine. The only thing I can think it could be, Tony, is like you say, a dodgy wave selector switch. So while I'm at it, we'll give it a quick shot of deoxit, something else that costs a fortune in this country for some reason. See if we can get any down in that switch. So what we can also do, I wasn't going to repair anything today, was I? But you know, that's what it's live. Live is live. What happens, happens, isn't it? So just clean that contact with a bit of alcohol. And that contact there. God, there's little tiny coils in there. You move those, you could be in trouble. Look. And that's just moved a little bit there. So yeah, that's cleaned that off. So we'll try it once more. Let's pop the battery back in. Start it in AM. It's Formula One today. That's Radio 5 Live, I think. So that's AM. It's a little bit noisy, that switch still. I might need to take that one out.
Surrounded by geraniums and other spreading plants.
I think you might be looking at multiple issues here.
I think that's Radio
If
4.
they came into growth very successfully in the spring.
Well, Tony, I think just a little bit more messing with the switch in that one, and that is job done now, that one. So I think there's not a lot wrong with that one, apart from a dicky waveband selector. Could go mental and change all the capacitors just for the hell of it, but really it's got these violet coloured things, and again, this is a newer version though, by the looks of it. Again, no manufacturer's mark on any of those. And I think this is 1971. That brochure that I found a picture of it in is 1971. And the only schematic or anything I found on it was this, which is just really a transistor lineup It doesn't tell me which are which. I'm going to assume that's the oscillator. That could be the AM, IF can lineup, and that could be the FM. So we've got the dials. Yeah, so I suppose that would get you by roughly, but it's not the same as having a schematic. So again, these little Japanese radios are tough to get schematics for. Zenith I thought would be quite easy because they're really popular radios, but they're not. Right, so we can put that one to bed for now. What I'll probably do is whip the board out, see if I can get that switch apart, because it is noisy still going across, even though I've hit it with some deoxit. There's nowhere to squirt it in really, so I'm probably going to need to take the switch apart on that one. Right. How are we doing? Hopefully we're still connected. Panasonic, this Panasonic is an RF511 bill. RF511, National Panasonic. Right, what else have we got coming up here then? Okay. So I don't know if... Hi Cody's. You've missed a bit. You'll have to catch up when the live stream goes off later. I was on it for nearly 2 hours last week. I really didn't know the time had run away that much. So, is Andy Beck still with us? Andy, are you still with us? Andy, give us a thumbs up if you're still there, mate. Andy Beck, because this is your spot coming up here now, really. So yeah, Andy subscribed to my Facebook page last week after the feed. Again, just search Radiocruncher on Facebook and you'll find my Facebook page. I do put bits and pieces on there from time to time. If I'm working on something, I've got some photos of it, I'll just quickly pop them on there for people to see what I'm up to. So it's you get more of a regular update on Facebook because it's a lot easier than trying to edit a video and post it. Cheers, Andy. Right, well, Andy was watching my live stream last week and he sent me a message saying he'd got a Bush radio and would I want to have a look at it. And he showed me some pictures of some of the radios he's got, and he had I haven't got one to hand here now. He had a Roberts RM40, which is a big, and I restored one of these for Sean recently for his barber shop. Have I got a case for one here that I can put my hands on? No, probably not. Anyway, it's a big tabletop, sort of like hotel radio, really. And he was missing one of the knobs off of it. And I recently bought two for spares because I needed some spares to fix Sean's radio. So anyway, he had one knob that was missing the top. I think I've actually got one here. Yeah. So he had a knob that looked like that, and all the rest were nice and chrome. And these are off of my radio, so it should be like that. So basically what had happened is the aluminium top, which is quite common on these, they're not very well stuck. They pull apart and come off. So I said to him, I've got some spares, I'll send you one. So I sent him one, and he said, did I want the Bush radio that he had? So I said, well, you know, I'll have a look at it for you. Do you want me to sort of restore it? Oh, I've just got to make a note of that. Oh, the old one's in the post, Andy, is it? Cheers. So I've got Andy's one coming back just so as I got one for my spares radio, really. So TSM 141 is the RF 511. Great to have you on board, Bill. You're helping me out here, mate. Yeah, that did come up lovely, that RM40. I've got some pictures of it somewhere. So Rob, sorry, Andy very kindly said, would I like the bush for nothing as like a donation to the channel, and perhaps I can work on it and do some video on it. So I said yes, and it's arrived amazingly well packed. Andy, by the way, it took me forever to get it unpacked. It took me, I reckon, 15 to 20 minutes to unpack it. That's how good it was packed. I think it was bomb proof pretty much. So anyway, here it is. That's a bit of a beast, this one. So I don't know if that's in the shot or not. Let me go back to my footage to see if it's actually in the shot. Hopefully it is. I'm just double checking. No, it don't want to. It don't want to work. Oh yeah. Okay, it is in the shot. Brilliant. Right. So yeah, it's a beauty, isn't it? I mean, we've got looks like solid brass lettering on the front there. A little bit moved there, so I need to stick that one back. Looks like one of the pins has come off on that one, but solid brass. It's got the obligatory paint on it, which is every radio must have paint on it, mustn't it? I think there's very, very few radios I've had, like UK radios, that haven't got paint on it. So it looks like the decorating craze of the 60s and 70s has come across on all the radios. So it's I've got some info for this radio as well. It's 1960, so it's older than me. Loads older, obviously. Made by Bush in London, apparently, in 1960. 9 volt. Here's a monster of a radio, and I have got a trader sheet there as well, which I managed to find online. So it's all OC transistors. The transistors should be fine in it. You don't very often get problems with those unless a capacitor goes dodgy and it might take one out, or a resistor goes a bit mad. So first initial overview then. So we've got a little bit of a loose S there, which needs probably soldering back together. I think there's a little dink out the case there on the corner. And for some reason the tuning, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the tuning doesn't move. So that's either broken or jammed. Hi, Generally Inspector Sil Zrovnich Raja. Hi, mate. I don't know if I said that right. Yeah, it is a chip there, Graham. This is all plastic, and you can see it's yellowed quite a bit. So back last year, I was going to refurbish some Roberts R200 knobs, which had gone a bit yellow. So I got the formula for making up Retro Bright. So this might be a good candidate for a bit of Retro Bright in this one. The lettering's gone off the top there, but it is reset, so I can probably just put that back in with a crayon or something, or just blob a bit of paint in there and just scrape that off. It's something's rattling about inside there. So on the back, you can see it's receiver type TR91. Serial number, I don't know if that makes any difference, 6393. Could be 1963. 9th of March, I don't know. Certainly it's early 60s, this one. So let's undo the battery compartment. I've not looked at this radio at all. It's literally just been unpacked this afternoon. Again, it's got these screws that no screwdriver on the planet fits. he said he put a bit of packing inside, so he's done another great job on the inside as well by the looks of it. Keep it all together. So I think it was just these rattling about inside, or is it? Oh no, there's something rattling about on the inside there. Yeah, so we've got a couple 9-volt battery tags. So basically takes a PP9. That's even got the little Bush final inspection label that. Can't see a date on that, it just says 355 and the pencil signature of whoever it was that inspected it. It's like RM perhaps. So yeah, it looks like this this strap here just holds the PP9 in place, and I don't believe you can still get these over in the States. I don't know whether you can or not. I know I do make these, so if anyone ever wants one, I make a 3D printed version, so exactly the same size, and it just takes two of these, two 6 AA cells in parallel to give you 9 volts. But yeah, PP9, still can get them over here. I did hear from a manufacturer that, I don't know, I haven't got the video out there yet. It will be coming out. It's live on Patreon at the moment on the vacuum cleaner that I repaired. The guy that sent me the battery pack for that said that he does make PP7s. Now PP7 is even rarer. That's one there. Still 9-volt, but much smaller. He reckons he can still get these where he makes them to order, and he can also make a PP9 rechargeable battery. So I'm waiting for info on that. So when I get it, I'll send it out to you. But yeah, that's a PP9 and a PP7. So it takes a PP9. I assume it just sort of like sits in there in this strap. Stops it sort of floating about. Just about. Bit sort of bit rattly, but saying that, this is not a portable radio that you're going to carry around. This is a like bedside or kitchen work surface radio. Strangely enough, inside it's still this cream colour, you know. Normally the UV affects the plastic and causes it to yellow, but would it cause it to yellow inside as well? I doubt it. There is something floating about, and I can see that the tuning cord is off of it. I think somehow the chassis comes out from the front. It can't come out through the back because this is all solid here. There's no, this doesn't come off, so this front's got to come off somehow. So I would think that that we've got some part of the tuning cord, because you can see the tuning cord hanging down there, the dial cord. Okay, well I can turn that by hand, so we can fire it up and have a listen, see if it works. So I'm not going to use a battery, I'm going to use my power supply just in case it is drawing a lot of current. Really, you should somehow try and limit your power somehow, even firing up transistor radios, old ones, because if you've got a transistor gone, a not transistor, capacitor gone short circuit, you can damage your output transistors. Right, so that is off there. So I'm connecting that up to the 9-volt supply. Just get my chat back up before I carry on. A cordless set. Yeah. Ferrite rattle. It could be ferrite rattle. It is a nice nice radio, isn't it? Email sent. Yeah, Rob, I did get a ping through that I had an email. Hi Gary, how are you? Yeah, it certainly is. It would be worth trying a bit of retro brighting, maybe on this panel first. Right, so let's turn it round front ways. I can get my finger in the bottom there and alter the tuning capacitor, so that's all good. Let's get the current limit right down. Yeah, so when you are firing up an old vintage radio that you know nothing about, it is best, as I said, to have a current limited supply. You can do that with a series little bulb if you wanted to. So you could see if you get a little 9-volt bulb or something like that, put in line with it. Go higher rather than lower on the power, otherwise you'll pop the bulb. But that would limit it. So we've also got another connector there as well, though, which is a bit strange. So I'm not sure whether this... Oh, I see. Okay, right. Now, this is a bit upside down for you, so apologies. So we've got two different types of batteries. We've got a small battery, which is an ever-ready PP9, or it's saying a large battery, an ever-ready PP10. And we've got this separate connector here. So I assume what you did was stick that into the end of the PP10, and then put the other connectors on here. So as you're powering it. Oh yeah, yeah. PP10. I don't think I've ever seen one of them before. Anyway, let's fire her up. Let's try medium wave first. It's gone into current limit. It's only because I had it set down really low. Need a bit of switch cleaner in that. We've got a tone button, which doesn't latch. I don't know if that's supposed to latch or not. Right, let's turn the little wheel inside. She's working. It's actually working very well.
Mercedes were out in the pit lane. Hamilton so close. It was 0.6 behind. And I'm sure that Hamilton would have seen Raikkonen pit and think, I cannot pit as well. I need to try and do something different. It is radio. So it's happened side, Lewis. So there we go. That means push hard on this lap because Raikkonen will have the advantage.
Wasn't my phone perhaps up then, was it?
And so Hamilton will have to push as hard
Still live yet?
while he's remaining out there, and he is currently doing the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. So it is lap 21 of 53. Lewis Hamilton now in the lead.
Lewis is in the lead. Come on, Lewis. Well, that is working.
It's absolutely rapid.
You can tell the difference in reception between this set and the smaller sets, can't you? I mean, that Panasonic, to be fair, did sound quite nice.
And it's always up to you what we dance to. And Kim.
So let's try plastic cleaning for double glazing, Rob. Yeah, I've got some of that. But there is this solution that you got to have hydrogen peroxide. Sean might be able to get me some of that good stuff. We can only get the like weak stuff over here, so you never know. But I think it's hydrogen peroxide, and there's lots of other bits you add into it. Glycerine, I think. There's about 4 or 5 different things that you put in this Retrobrite mix. If you Google it, you'll come up with the Retrobrite project, which is where I've got the recipe from. So what I was going to do now is try long wave. Yeah, I bet there is some old Plessy caps in there. I'm going to see in a minute if I can get it out of the case, if we've got time. I don't know how long I've been on. Been on an hour and a quarter now. It could be. This man, remove battery compartment, disconnect battery leads, remove 2 screws located in deep recesses on either side of the cabinet rear. Okay, yeah, see that. So yeah, basically the trader sheet even tells me how to take it apart. Look. Draw the cabinet front and chassis complete. First easing at the top edge and then lifting to the bottom edge free. Don't use any undue force as damage to the ferrite may result. And we've got a little picture there of the tuning gang arrangement, the tuning the dial cord arrangement, even what they call it, drive cord. So that's it's even got a little description of it there. It says it's got 50 inches of nylon braided glass yarn. We've all got loads of that, haven't we? God, have we got any of that here? So let's just quickly try long wave. There's only one station that we can get over here on long wave, and that's Radio 4. Well, not over here, here in my location. There is a Welsh station that I can pick up and a French station from time to time as well, if it's good radio. Yeah, that whistling you can hear is my light. Can't really do anything about that, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, so it's not very well on long wave.
It's always this reward it feels of having dismissed. And Coley Cambridge, didn't he? 3 away from a century. If he could produce that one
It's not bad. It's there. We'll turn that light off. Yeah. Okay. Well, it is working, but long wave is not very strong, to be fair. So long wave has got an issue. It might be, as I think Rob or somebody said just now, the yeah, it does say PP10 in here, Bill. So say that this little thing here is probably for the PP10. I haven't got anything like a PP10, but I have seen them. They're like a big long brick of a battery. So that would have lasted forever. So it says ever ready PP10 Vidor T6010 or a GEC BB30. Where are you from then, Generalny? Apologies if I haven't said that right. Well, I definitely set it right. So let's see if we can get this one apart then. So it says undo these two big screws through here. That's one. This is where it all falls apart in a heap on the desk. To be fair, that's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd have to take loads of screws out, but it literally is two. Well, that's not little screws, that's big old screws. Look at that. Right. Let's ease this front out then. It says ease out the top edge and lift the bottom edge free. Oh, there we are. The beast is free. So yeah, you can see that case is yellowed on the inside and the outside. Came out pretty easy though, didn't it? That's good news. Let's have a look in the back of the beast then. Stick my rubber mat down because I want to scratch the knob on this. Cool. It's a monster. A bit of the cardboard inside. See what we got. Luckily the ferrite isn't what's broken. Oh yeah, some lovely plessies in here. Look at these. 1, 2, 3. But it is working. We've got another plessy electrolytic there, and another one there in orange sleeving. We've got the dreaded hunts as well. It's got everything that it shouldn't have in this one. It's got hunts in it, look. The dial cord is off. Is it broken or has it just come off? Strange. It sounds like there's something in behind the speakers. Speaker. Yeah, I think that dial cord isn't broken and literally has just come off. I hate doing dial cords. Anybody that fixes radios hates dial cords. Okay. It looks like there's a couple more screws holding the main assembly in. Shall we go any further with it? That's good news, Dan. Good old Hamilton. This is the top side of the radio, by the way. So we can see all our transistors here. Let me think. This is going to be running that way. So this is going to be the oscillator. That's probably the oscillator can, first, second, and third IFs. And down in here somewhere we've got a driver, which is an OC78C. And the outputs are OC70 something. What's it saying on here? The outputs are. TR6 OC78. This is a 78D driver and 78 OC78 outputs. These Hunts things are pretty bad. I actually like that. That's a nice layout. Easy to work on. Very easy. Like he says, I haven't got this this dial cord out yet. Should I carry on with this one, do you think? Or should we move on? What do you want to do? Carry on and have a quick look at this one, see what this dial cord issue is. Let's see if I can get this out. No, it was a smaller screwdriver than that. Sounds like the lawn mowing extravaganza is still carrying on here in sunny Devon, or cloudy Devon now. It's warm though, very close today. Just popping the bits in there for a minute. All that chassis lift out there. He's thinking about it. Got one more screw in it. They've stuck it right underneath the ferrite there. Look, that's nice of him, isn't it? How are you supposed to get that out? Got to get to the bottom of what this noise is. This rattling. Okay, where else is it attached on? Doesn't appear to be attached to there. Could be the tuning dial, couldn't it? There's going to be a nut in there, isn't there? And this is one of these ones that will only come off in one position, I expect. Ah, got you, beast. Yeah, that's done it. Now we're talking. Have I gone too far with this radio already? There we go. Right. Well, that's a dial cord. There is definitely something in behind that speaker. Well, it's got an output transformer as well. It shows its age there. Let's take the speaker out. I can't be doing with all this lot hanging off of it while I'm trying to work on it, or look at it even. Bear with me, people. Just fumbling around as usual. I was only going to look at this one as well, and I've ended up taking it apart now. Look. Got to be done, though, isn't it? Got to be done. That's what it's all about. Interesting to see what on earth is floating around underneath that speaker. Last screw. Okay. Any guesses what's floating around behind the speaker then? Any guesses? whatever blows my hair back. Yeah, well, that's the third lot of lawn mowing today. You're dead right there, Rob. Luckily, I've got another bottle lined up, look, all ready to go. I've never heard of this before. Buckham Gorham. He looks a bit of a rough old character, doesn't he? Avon Pale Ale, look. That's not what I'm drinking at the moment, though. Currently on the Hobgoblin, look. So that's the beer choice of the day. So anybody know what? Andrew, you bang on there, Andrew. Vote for the corner. Vote for the corner. It is. Oh, I thought it was a halfpence, but it's an old penny, look. And the date on that one is 1972. I wonder if it's been in there since then. Someone's probably been thinking, oh, this radio's blooming rubbish, I'm going to have to throw that away. It's making a hell of a rattling noise. Speakers buzzing like mad. Well, would be, wouldn't it? Close my tuning cap. Close my tuning cap. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Save it getting bent. That's what you're saying, Bill, isn't it? I expect. Yeah, so we've got a penny. Oh, I found a dead moth inside a tuning capacitor in a plastic encapsulated one once. God only knows how that got in there. Okay, so I can have a proper look at this dial cord now that that speaker's out of the way. And as suspected, it's not actually broken. This is proper dial cord as well. This is really stiff. I mean, I've got some modern dial cord, but it's nothing like that. So we've got a dial cord picture, but do I want to be messing with that now? It's all there, it's just pinged off. It literally has just pinged off. Yeah, that doesn't look to be running right there either. Let me two turns around control spindle from the bottom to the top. Two turns around it. Tension and spring. Well, there's our dial cord. So where do you start? So I assume it goes from that way round. So it's going to come out through there. It's going to go around like that. You can be 180 degrees out with these. What's the likelihood? Of course, getting all tangled up now, that. So we've got two turns around that one. 1, 2. Let me dial. It's fallen off. Send me up around that one. And then stretch across to there. Look. Oh, can't be that difficult, can it? Yeah, that spring's got to have a lot more tension in it. Yeah, come on, get over there. Hey. Ha, there we go. One dial cord back on. The pointer's pinged off somewhere. Where's that dropped off to? Has it gone into oblivion on the floor? Excuse me, I'll get my head in the camera. Yeah, there we go. So that hangs down there. Dry cord. Look at that. These are tricky old things to get back in, these are. I'll tell you what, it's like a Chinese puzzle sometimes trying to get these blooming things back on. Can't make head or tail of that diagram there. That's basically showing a totally different indicator than this one. I reckon it's got to go over and over again. Oh, you gotta love a dial cord, don't you? I'm gonna throw this out in a minute. I'm gonna have to mess about with that to get that back on there, but basically it sits in there. Then I assume as you turn it, it moves up the cord. Just got to work out how to get the thing fixed back on now. Ah, no! It's popped off again. Okay, well we popped off again, look, so I'm gonna leave that one for now. I'll be messing around with this for hours else. Lots of start on some, and I'll get carried away, and I'm sure we all got better things to do today. Let's sit here watching me putting dial cord on and off. But you get the gist. I think that's doable. I've just got to really work out. I'm going to put it back on so that I know where I am in the future. I don't know why that pinged off again. It's pretty got quite a bit of tension on it. Anyway, the dial cord is on. I might have just got it crossed here on the wheel, actually. That's probably what it is. The dial cord is not an issue anymore, and I think we'll find that the long wave reception, let's have a look. Long wave, L7's common here, L5. So basically the long wave reception is going to be probably one of these little black hunts, I expect. That one looks like he's got a big crack, and there's a couple there that look like they're cracked right across. So yeah, basically electrolytics will restore that one to full functionality, although it's pretty good anyway on medium wave. It's just long wave's not very good. I'll get the tuning indicator back on once I can get my head around how that's supposed to have gone on initially. If anyone's got one of these with an inside, then let me know. It was on there, but it's popped out. Had a mouse carcass fall in your lap. Oh my god. Oh, cheers, Bill. Catch you later, mate. Thanks for joining us if you are still there. Yeah, to be fair, the Roberts and the Hackers aren't too bad to restring, Mike. They're not too bad. I can do those pretty easy. The worst ones are these German radios. This one's dead easy, real basic. That is, I've done that without having to think too hard about it. So anyway, that one is going to one side for now. So I think I've lost that little red thing again. But Andy, thanks mate. That's a cracking little radio. Sounds really good, and it needs a bit of work. It'd be nice to see if we can get it restored and show you on a future video. But yeah, that's the tuning dial done anyway. Well, not properly, because I've got this one here crossed over. I think that's what the issue is. It's the wrong way round. Pretty tight. Right, let me get this one out of the way then, and we'll bring in the final radio to have a look at today. Then we can look at wrapping it up. I really ought to take them out of there, didn't I? Let's just undo that a minute, save quite a big bits around. Yeah, well, hopefully that's been of interest, Andy. You can see what was inside your radio now. What the rattling was. Oh, penny. Just going to screw that one back in there for now, so I know where it came from. I could always watch the video back and call myself stupid, couldn't I? Right, it's the output transformer, the radio. Put that very gently out of the way before the tuning cord pings off again. Right. Okay. Right. We're not all gone to sleep. Gonna need to get some more beer. So yeah, Mike, you can send me that R800. I think I've only got one R800. In fact, I think there's one just up there that's in pieces at the moment because it needs recovering. Is that easily accessible? Yeah, I've got a pretty rough old Roberts up there. Got some Rexine, that's some proper old cloth back Rexine to recover it with. But I haven't got round to it yet. I won't do that out now because I'm going off subject. What I need to do is get my beer opened up. So the last radio of today then, this is one that I saw on eBay, and it was a fair price, but it was about the maximum that you would sort of pay for an unrestored hacker, really. So I thought, well, looking at the pictures, it don't actually look too bad. So it's worth chucking an offer in and see if he'll accept it. Anyway, I put an offer in, and we sort of to and fro with the maximum offers till I came to one that worked. Accepted it, and got it. I paid a bit more than I probably would normally, but I looked very carefully at the pictures. The pictures weren't brilliant, but it did look really good. So I thought, well, let's give it a go. So here it is. It's a blue Hacker VHF Herald. Again, this literally, I've just unpacked this today just for the live feed, so it's covered in all this dust and everything. But it did, in the pictures, it's difficult sometimes. You've got to take a bit of a gamble on some of these radios, but the Rexine all looked okay. And the dial plate, you can see this is a VHF Herald. It's FM only, and this is the RP37A, which is the later version. The RP37 was an earlier version. Differences really mainly transistors. The older one had the dreaded AF117s in it. Some of these later ones did as well, so I can't say too much. But things that made me buy it, one was the aerial was straight, and I asked that question before I put an offer in, because to be fair, if that aerial wasn't straight, or it wasn't there, or wasn't original, it makes the sets not worthless, but basically I wouldn't buy it without the aerial. It's not the original aerial by the looks of it, because it's got a different top. I'll show you one with the correct top in a minute. I think that is sticking out a bit further. I would say that's out of a Roberts R707, you know. So, you know, I took a punt on that. I've got a good aerial, and it has got the joint on it as well. But I think that is out of a Roberts R707 or a 600. So we've got the joint. The whole aerial's moving about a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's fixed very well inside. So we can have a look at that. So we've got AFC and interstation muting. Basically, interstation muting just cuts the hash off in between channels, so it'll only let the station break through if it's quite powerful. So if you're constantly tuning around all the time and you don't like that noise in between channels, you just push that in, and if it's adjusted properly, which they never are, then it should cut the hash out. The dial plate's in really good condition, and all the knobs are perfect. The dial works, so we don't have to do tuning cord on this one. The Rexine has sagged. There was foam in these originally. So I don't know what to do with this one, and I'll show you why in a minute. I did buy it to do up and sell on, but I might keep hold of this one. Yeah, the knobs are yellowed a little bit. I have got some brand new ones in there somewhere, which I've managed to get hold of over the years. And something a little bit different with these, they haven't got the turntable on the bottom. They've just got the feet, and the reason for that is it's an FM radio only. So you don't have to turn it to tune the ferrite rod, so you don't need a turntable. So the other reason I bought it, it's got the strip in the handle still. This is a push off handle, so you don't lose the bits off the end like you do on some of the other ones. So let's have a look in the back. Again, I haven't looked in the back of it. yeah, so that area, all that needs doing is lowering down, look, and that'll be perfect. It's not got quite the right top on it, but I could unscrew that and screw another top on it if I really wanted to. So both battery connectors are there, which is unusual because very often these are rotted off. That actually looks in good condition. It's got the smaller speaker, which I think is a Celestian in this one. It's all there. It's got lock fits in it. It's not got the AF117s, so it is the newer version. Serial number on these sets is up on this aluminium piece here. It's 27094. 27094. So this is it's pretty much the same as the Sovereign, I suppose, the RP25, except the Sovereign's got the AM board there on this side. Here we've got the FM IF board and the FM RF board, a little FM tuning ganglet. Same ones they use on the Super Sovereign actually. So in the AM FM ones of these, they've got a separate tuning gang for AM, and this one connected to this RF cam for FM. Great little amplifiers. These sound amazing, these radios. Sean will confirm that because he's got one of these. So that's that one. That is the only one. We'll fire it up in a minute. But what I thought I'd show you is my other RP37As, because I've got three of them. Well, I have got three now. This one, I've sort of nearly finished restoring it. A bit dusty because I've been dusting off stuff. So this is one of the first radios I ever got. I got this one from a car boot sale many years ago. I think I paid something like 10 quid for it. I've stuck a new piece of Rexine in the handle, not very brilliantly, but I have stuck a new piece in there because it was missing. This has got the removable ends to the handle, and these are a nightmare to get hold of, so don't lose those. There's no grill on the back of this one, but I have got one. Did I have one here just now? Yeah, there. So I've got one that I've 3D printed there, so I need to just pop that back in. Put a piece of speaker cloth in behind, and that one will be good as new then, because I've done everything else in it. If you open the back, you see I've recapped the amplifier board. It's actually the wrong way around, the amp board. It should be the other way around. And it's got the, this one's got the, I think I did that. It's got the AF108s, sorry, BC108s in there for transistors rather than the lock fits. And I mean, this one sounds amazing. You see what I mean about the aerial? That's what the top of the aerial should look like on one of these. So I made the mistake there, didn't I? Of getting one without an original aerial, but it is a good quality aerial, that. Oh, I'll leave that one up there because I've got one more. This one's a bit rough, but that's all three colours basically. So you've got the blue, black and red. Now this one I've done nothing to. I mean, I think I bought this as part of a job lot of radios. It's got a different speaker, this one. It's got an ELAC speaker with a huge, great magnet. I think these are quite sought after with the big magnet. Again, that one's for restoration. It smells very musty. Looks like it was supplied by Williams and Son in South Molton, so it's a Devon radio. Yeah, it's pretty musty, that one. So that's the three different colours. I just thought I'd show you. There is one more version of this which is really rare, and I've been looking out for one for ages. I've tried to get one on numerous occasions and missed out. and that's the Open University Herald. So it's a black set like this, but it's got a blue, quite a dark blue dial plate with Open University on it. Very rare, very sought after. They do fetch big money. But I am after one, so if anyone knows where there is one, then that would set my collection off quite nicely. And being this is the only blue one I've got, I probably will hang on to this one. I might swap the aerial out. Incidentally, you notice on the red one, it's got chrome end caps. They should be brass, but unfortunately, they're long gone, which is a shame. I could spray those a brassy colour, I suppose, in the end when I get around to restoring it. Anyway, let's just check the chat because I've been rabbiting on again for ages. Yeah, I am going to refoam it, Sean. I've actually bought some. I've got a couple of different sorts of foam. I have refoamed one radio before, which I sold on, which was a little mini Herald. Still some grass cutting or strimming going on now by the sound of it. Moved on to strimmers now. But yeah, that is definitely going to have to be repadded. It's just gone to powder the foam inside that. Get rid of the red one. You got two black ones, Mike, have you? From R707. Yeah, that area was probably from the RS707. Get rid of the red one. Sean hates red radios. So yeah, I'd say this was available as an RP37 as well. I haven't got one of those. That's the earlier version with the AF117 caps. So shall we get some power on this and have a look? Yeah, the ELAC is supposed to be the best one, isn't it? I mean, these are, well, certainly the one that I've done there, the black one, I was using that out in the garden this summer, and that was it was amazing sound coming off of it. Amazing sound. So say, one of the reasons these sound good is because of the amplifier in them, and it's an 18-volt amplifier. That's why. Stick more power in, you get more power out. So I think what we'll do though to start with is we'll start it on lower power. I'll try and work out these leads now to do my head in. So that's the earth. Get confused about which lead to put on what. That's a negative. These are wired in series, so okay, yeah, there we go. So yeah, basically to hook one of these up to a power supply, it took me a bit to work this out because I was connecting two separate supplies up to it. Basically, they're wired in series, so connect your first black lead to the black wire here, and then your red lead goes to the red wire, which goes up to the volume control. If you connect just those two, it won't work. And if you connect just those two, it won't work. So you've got to connect one on each like that. So I've got it on 9 volts, which is half its voltage. It's drawing 20 milliamps, so it's not drawing a lot. Let's get the area up a bit. Of course, a big area that is a R700 got to be.
He's school at 14 to help him. It could never have been. Don't you regret not marrying him just because he was poor? Son, what?
It's working.
What have I said?
That's 9
My
volts.
father was a government employee. In those days, that was a good job with a steady income.
What happened to him, your neighbor? Did he marry? No. He died. He drowned in a well.
Oh, that's because I've not got enough power going in. Just put that power up a bit. let's go up to say 12 volts. Decided not to work now, look.
Piece by the beautiful Blue Danube by Johann Strauss. The Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra were conducted by Gerard Schwartz. Good afternoon, I'm Charlotte Hawkins, and thank you for joining me here on Classic.
Okay, well that noise you can hear is the amplifier. Basically means that the caps, I would say, capacitors have gone in the amplifier circuit on it. But being it's a hacker, it's dead easy to get them out. I've said that now, I'll be able to get a living thing out now, will I? Let me see if I've got a screwdriver that'll fit that. Okay. So what I'll try and do is swap the amp for my other one just to prove it. This amplifier is used in quite a number of hackers anyway, so it's not just this one. There's quite a few that use this amplifier. Easy to take out. Just got, that's the amplifier outlet. Can't do that on many radios, can you? And what I'll do is, this amplifier here has been refurbed. So just swap them over for a minute. Obviously, so I'm going to keep my amp, but it'll let us test out the radio a bit safer, really. Don't want to overdrive the amp and knock the output transistors out. So that starts getting pretty expensive then. I think, well, again, OC, I think it uses OC 81Ds for the output. Right, let's pop this one in. There we have one good amplifier. Hackers are really well made radios. I think a few people have said that they were the best of the best at the time, as it takes a lot of beating. So that's the old amplifier. Basically these capacitors go kaput. You've got to be a little bit careful with the amplifiers on these, because this transistor here, which is T4, and I can't remember that it's an it's an AC123, I think, from memory. We've got this weird T2, and I think it's OC81D outputs on it. I've got the book on it here somewhere, but I haven't got it to hand. I did bring it in specially, but left it somewhere. Sometimes it can just be the socket that's got a bad connection that can make that noise, but let's hook it up again and see what we get now with a known good amplifier in it. It's not going to work now, is it? So we can afford to run this one right up to 18 volts. let's get the aerial up. Although they would work with it without an aerial, but unfortunately the reception I've got here isn't brilliant.
All three of his instruments, but it is his performances on the clarinet that are truly world-renowned. Here he is now playing the second movement of Louis Spohr's Clarinet Concerto No. 1.
So interstation muting is supposed to cut that hash off, but obviously it doesn't. Because it needs adjusting. There we go, that's done it. So with that in, now you can't hear anything in between stations. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? That's great radio.
And say, here we go. It was tough.
The volume on it.
I don't think at the time we could sit back
not even
and
a
say, wow,
quarter.
this is amazing, because it was just fighting and fighting and fighting.
You know, I was only listening to it a few days ago. It appears on every compilation album. It's appeared on TV programs. Hey, I hope you're getting paid for it still.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Somewhere.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, apologies. Oops. Apologies, anybody that's got headphones on. I meant to say I was going to play it loud.
Coffee. Oh, those days are long past. I'm completely fueled by caffeine
Radio
these
too.
days. Helen and Gary are on the A11. Good afternoon. We're on our way home to Norfolk after an absolutely fabulous weekend in Cambridge, celebrating our 23rd wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
Well, let's just have a quick look at the chat then, see how we're going. That sounds amazing. That does really sound amazing. Right, what are we saying? Yeah, you could hear it in Exeter, could you, Rob? Yeah, that's basically what needs doing on this one, is just the amplifier. There is a couple capacitors on the board. There's not most of the capacitors on the amplifiers on these. There's probably about another 3 or 4 on the main board. But yeah, it does sound amazing. Your Hacker Harold has the amp missing, but everything else is fine. Cody's, I've probably got a spare amp for one of those, so if you drop me an email, maybe I can sort you one out for a small contribution, possibly. As we were saying. Yeah, so really, I mean, I don't think that aerial's an issue, because that'll drop down to the right height there, and it is a good quality. Like the R707 aerial is brilliant. It might be a 600, that one, actually, because it's a bit shorter than the 707. 707's a bit longer from memory. Yes, yeah, Cody's, if you need an amp, let me know. It's a shame not to have a set working just for one of these. I have got some spare, well, I've got a spare one, I think, which I can probably restore for you and send you on. It's A205 amp in this. They used in, I think the Sovereigns use this amplifier, the Sovereign 2 anyway. No, I don't think, no, the Helmsman doesn't, because that's 12 volts, not 18. So yeah, that's a great little radio, and a good find, really. That amplifier is not the end of the world, even if we got a transistor dodgy in it, which I doubt. It is literally going to be these transistors, and we've got a couple potentiometers in here. One for the quiescent current, and one for the midpoint voltage that we'll need doing. They're pretty blacked up as well. doesn't look like that's hardly ever been turned. Certainly no one's got a screwdriver in and been screwdrivering it. And I'll probably switch out these BC148s as well for BC108s, as I have done in this one. I've got stacks of those. I've bought quite a big job lot of those. Where are we? BC108. Yeah, so I've got quite a few BC108s that I bought. They were cheap because they got pre-bent legs on them. But the pre-bent legs fit perfectly in place of the old lock fits. So that was probably why they were made like that. Yeah, the only reason to swap them, I can swap them for BC109s. Actually, they're lower noise again. It just keeps the noise floor down really low on minimum volume. You don't get any hiss coming through from the amplifier. Don't think we've got any dry joints there. It's another common thing with these big, long, upright ones. Right, what are we saying? Did I replace all the resistors in one of my hacker amp boards? Yes, I did. Can't remember who. Oh, that was that RP18. I recently put some videos out there on some issues I had with one of these. It wasn't this one of these boards. It was a different board, but these old tubular transistors all go a little bit, sorry, resistors all go a little bit high over time. And there's two quite important ones down in here which are high quality. I think they're 5% tolerance. These two in here, they need to be pretty well matched because they're right on the output stage, right on the output transistor. So if these fail, then you wreck your outputs. T2 is an unusual transistor. It's actually got T2 written on it. There's no transistor code for it at all. Nobody really knows what they are. It's one of them, like, I don't know, it's just a real strange transistor. People reckon it's reject transistors that are fairly low gain that they've used as a driver. I don't think they call it a driver in this circuit though. So yeah. Robert's 747 aerial is a good replacement. Oh yeah, 747. Can you still get them, Rob? I know Roberts have been getting a bit tight with their spares recently. They've run out of a lot of stuff. Not because I bought it all, but you used to be able to get the Roberts chrome-plated badge that went in the middle. I'll leave that board in there for a minute anyway. Yeah, they used to be able to get the Roberts badge. I think the scroll badges. I think they still got the scroll badges in there, but certainly you can't get the block lettering badges anymore for like the R707. It's definitely time for some more throat lubrication. So is there anything else that anyone else wants to have a look at before we go? So yeah, basically those old carbon resistors are pretty bad. They are gone in. They've gone high, probably 90% of them. But as long as it's not affecting the amp too much, which you can tell by doing the tests on the amp, then you can leave them in. But if I'm doing a full restoration on something, I like to get them out. I put new carbon composition resistors in there. Quite a bit different. Oh, Gorum. Can't beat a bit of Gorum. Truth in every taste, apparently. Huh. Oh, it's named after Bristol's very own giant, who is partial to a well-crafted ale. It's got a blend of American and Worcester hops. It's quite sharp. That's got food pairing on it as well. It's good with vintage cheddar, spicy pickles, chutneys, and slow roasted pork belly. Well, there you go. We got curry, so I don't know what it's going to do with curry tonight. Cody's, yeah. Transistors, they don't make germanium transistors anymore. Well, I think, let's say they don't make them. I think they do somewhere. I think China are messing with them. But it is difficult to get transistors. So if I ever find any, I mean, one of the hardest ones to get are these really, which are OC81Ds, OC71s. I bought a stock of these, which are by a company called DSI OC81Ds, and they're remanufactured by a company in Germany that still make these. I did get a cost in for bulk buy on them, but I think it was I can't remember what the minimum order was now, but I think it was a minimum order, and the costing was over 100 quid. So if I had that sort of money knocking about, I think I would buy them, because they do go, and they are used a lot in the outputs. They're glass encapsulated, they're not the aluminium encapsulated ones, but a lot of the hacker boards have got those glass ones in them. New old stock, I wouldn't use new old stock capacitors, and I wouldn't use new old stock resistors. You need to measure them first. I mean, they only tend to go high, I think, when they're in circuit. They don't go high normally. I mean, you can still get carbon composition resistors. I've got some here. I prefer to use these because they look pretty original. If you look at that, that's a 470K. That's brand new, straight from the electronic suppliers like RS or Farnell. Yeah, they look the part in an old radio because that's what they used to use. That's the slightly more modern equivalent of these ones. It's exactly the same length. You just got to bend the legs a little bit to get them in. Obviously these are new metal film resistors, but they don't look the same. You know, I like to try and keep things looking nice, especially the hacker, when you can open the back door of the thing. That's why I tend to stick with axial capacitors rather than using radials. So you could use radials in this, but you'd lose that sort of look really. So I use axial capacitors and stand them up like this normally if I'm doing a restoration. If I'm just repairing something from somebody and they want to keep the cost down, I'll just put radials in if they want that. But it doesn't look the same. So yeah, when you can open the back on a radio like that, you don't want to be looking at. You don't want to be looking. You can see that on this one, look, where I've refurbed it, I've put all axial caps in on it. One of the issues with customer restorations is cost, and these axial capacitors are a lot more expensive than radials. A lot more expensive. I mean, what's that, 470? That's a 470 microfarad there. That probably costs about £2, £2.50. Whereas a radial one would probably cost about 20p. So, you know, when you've got that many to do on a board, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6 in there. Look, and that board's probably 4. So it's probably about 10 quid's worth of capacitors in there, but maybe not quite that expensive. But if you compare that to radio, you might be like a couple quid's worth of capacitors, or when you do something like this, it could be 10 quid's worth of capacitors. But I do think they look the part, don't they? You know, it looks vintage. You can see I've replaced some of the resistors here. Look, fact, I've replaced all the resistors. So I put BC 109 transistors in here, and I put all new resistors in. But new old stock resistors, yeah, if you've got any of those Cody's that you want to get rid of. Capacitors, electrolytics aren't very good vintage. They do tend to do the same in circuit as out of circuit, but by all means, if you want to send them, on Cody's, then that'd be fine. Maybe we can do a swap for the amp board. Look, you can send your bags of junk up, and I'll send you an amp board. So yeah, I have totally refurbed that board. Looking at it, I've done given that the works, because I mean that RP37A VHF Harold is one of my best sounding radios I've got. There's not much will beat that, to be honest. I think the only thing I would personally say will beat it is an RP18. It's a Sovereign Mark 1. Yeah, Panasonic, Nichicon, I use them quite a lot. It's just, I like stuff. I like the look of these old boards, and I like to keep them looking as good as they can. If you just want a set to just listen to, then no worries at all putting radios in it. Junk. Yeah, not really junk, Cody's, but you know what I'm saying. I got carrier bags full of old components here, but these sort of things are always worth picking up. These type capacitors, these are good. No issues at all with those. Any of those like orange drops, or I mean these are mostly new, but end of the day, when you're doing people's stuff, it's got to be right, hasn't it? I put as good quality stuff in as I can get. I was originally putting the little axials in the Mullard modules, but end of the day, you can't see it in the module because it's sealed. So I've been putting Nichicons in there recently, which are a lot easier to fit and a lot cheaper for the customer when you're doing a repair. And they're good quality, really good quality, 105 degree capacitors. These are mostly 85s. Not that it's ever going to get hot, to be fair. Next radio I'm doing for myself. Oh God, I got loads that I'd like to do for myself. This one will be done. I probably will do that one for myself. I've got some valve radios. I've got a couple boxfuls of tabletop valve radios over in my stable. I think Sean's going to collar a couple of those from memory. I think he's after a couple of those. In fact, I've got them down on the table at the moment for him to have a look at. So yeah, I've got an ultra tabletop valve radio that I'd like to have a go at. Let's zoom back out again now so you can see a little bit more. You don't want to be looking at that all the time. What? I've zoomed out, I think, as far as I can. So you've probably got my mug back in the shop now. Yeah, so I've got loads of radios that I want to do for myself. I've got that Dynatron Linnet down there, which I'd love to do that one if I got the time. I've got a Dynatron Gypsy, which is a nice radio that I've got issues with the output transistors, which are impossible to buy anywhere. Nobody's got them. I've got a Nordmend radio. It's a Mesa 7000, I think. It's a beautiful radio. I've had it for quite some time. I've not even powered it up yet, which is a real shame because it's a shortwave radio. It's got about 8 shortwave bands on it, I think. 6 or 8, something like that. It's a proper sort of Grundy killer, really, and I'd like to get that one done. What else have I got? You've probably got to go up a little bit as well. Just let me get my camera sorted a minute. That's better. Yeah, so I've got the Grundig I'd like to do. What else have I got? Got a Hacker Hunter over there. That's one I bought recently. So, yeah, I bought that recently. That's not something I've already repaired. I've got that Chab Lorenz down there. I've got loads and loads of radios. So if anybody wants to see anything specific, let me know. I can usually pull most things out of the hat. My all-time favourite set at the moment is probably my Dynatron Atlantis. Dynatron Atlantis is probably my all-time favourite set. It's got 2 speakers in it. It's built like a tank. It's got a lovely rosewood finish on it. Probably a bit dusty at the moment. But I did do a series on that one, because I was going to do it for the shortwave shootout series that I did, but it wouldn't work. So I decided after it wouldn't work that I would get to grips with it and make it work, which I did. And it did live downstairs in the kitchen for quite some time, but it's come back up on my shelving unit at the moment. The only issue, well, it's not an issue, I've got to replace the tone control knobs on it, because they're generic ones I put on there for the time being. But I've actually 3D printed some to put on there. So do you want me to go and get it? Let me know if you want me to go and get it, and I'll go and grab it in a minute. But I'm not going to keep it held for too much longer now. Anybody else got any questions? Still editing videos. Like, I'm trying to get a couple done every week if I can. I did two videos last week. I've just released the power cord. Want to note Sound Gene SSB radio power supply outputs in AC. No, I've got Texan. This is my little modern shortwave radio. Cracking bit of kit, Texan PL880. If I ever go away to stay anywhere, this one comes with me. It's nice and compact. It's got an external plug-in aerial, so I can sling it out over a balcony or up in a tree. Real beauty. Battery's not charging it at the moment though, unfortunately. It uses one of these whacking great 3.7 volt lithium batteries. Just needs charging. It's an 18650 battery in that. Go and get it. Valve tester's buried deep, Sean. Is buried very deep. It's I've got a Mullard high-speed valve tester. I think it's a Mark II version. And no, it's over the other side of the room, buried under some of my. It's got a Bush DAC 90A on top of it and a Hacker Hunter at the moment, and it is boat anchor. It weighs an absolute ton. It weighs a ton. Well, not quite a ton, but you know, it is a heavy bit of kit. But I must get that. That was going to be my summer project this year, was to get my valve tester back. I'll go and get the Atlantis in a minute. Hang on. Let's give it a dust off a minute first. You can't see her all dusty like this. So I did go to town on this one, restoration wise. This was sat out on my unit there. Yeah, he's a bit dusty. He's a bit dusty, poor old girl. Yeah, I would say this is probably my favourite radio of all. It's not a radio you'll see very often. There's not many about, I don't think. I've seen one for sale, and I meant to put a bid in on it and forgot all about it, and it went for cheap money. Well, this would have been an absolute fortune back in the day. I mean, look at the thing. It's it's properly made, that, isn't it? This is a Dynatron Atlantis. You can see I've not got the proper knobs on it at the moment. These are just some cheap Maplin. When we had Maplin, unfortunately Maplin has folded now, which is a real shame. It's be a good little source of spares when you couldn't get them anywhere else, locally anyway. I have still got some batteries in this as well. Yeah, that has got to be my favourite radio. And there's nothing not to like about that. Look, it's rosewood. I've put some Danish oil on it to bring out the sheen in it. It's even got the little metal pegs, and the reason it's got these little metal pegs is when your handle goes down, it can't crash against the front. Look, how nifty's that? And the same on the back. If your handle comes back this way, can't bang against the case. Very often you'll see these Dynatrons, there's a couple of the wooden cased ones that have got these, and very often these pins are missing. And in the back, you can't see a lot because we've got this piece in here, but say I've got two PP9s in there. I haven't recapped it. I've just gone through and checked the capacitors and changed the ones that were out of tolerance. I've replaced the AF117s in it, or the AF11 series caps. And I mean, the aerial is a unique as well. It's got like a little concave in the top, built like a tank.
Every Sunday's getting more bleak. Fresh poison each
It's rattling at the moment.
We were
It's got
born
batteries
sick.
out.
You heard them say it.
How hard did you find it?
Other thing is the tuning dial is weighted, so you can spin it.
Just told me try sometime.
So it runs up to 108 as well, 108 megahertz, which is unusual. So yeah, that is my favourite set. I mean, bearing in mind I collect mainly hackers, it's unusual for me to like a different set, but then if you think Dynatron was originally, the Hacker brothers were part of Dynatron before they left, so a lot of their influences have gone into these radios. So I have got some new knobs for here that I've 3D printed. You can see I've taken one off just to make sure it fits. So they will be going on it. And this one will not ever go anywhere. Inside the front here, you've got two large speakers. I mean, the amplifier section, I don't know what the design is on the amp. It's built onto this board here. It's very sort of hackerish. It's got a tapered gram input or output. Input. It'd be input and output, wouldn't it, if it's tape and gram? So it's got external aerial, external loudspeaker. Yeah, it's a beautiful set. Very rare. If you ever come across one anywhere, buy it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's priceless, but you'd be well into 3 figures for one of those. And I would probably rate that as good as the Super Sovereign. You know, Super Sovereign was my favourite radio, I think, up until that one. So hopefully that's answered that one for you, Sean, and you've seen it. Cheers, Generale. Have I ever repaired stereo amplifiers and receivers? No, I haven't, Graham, really. I've not had a broken one. I have, no, I tell a lie. I have got a quad amplifier that I've bought that needs repair. One channel's down on it. So that is a monster of an amp, a real monster of an amp. So I need to get to grips with that one and find out what's gone wrong. So there's only one channel not working. So I'll do anything pretty much. I'll have a go. Yeah, that's a real beauty, isn't it? You know, I've got Super Sovereigns in there. I like my Super Sovereigns. Probably my second favorite radio, but you know, this has even got a tuning get dial on there. Look. I won't do it now because the aerial's not up. It likes its aerial, this one. It's got shortwave as well on it. Medium wave and long wave.
So, you know, we're all in it together and we're going to make mistakes.
With a swivel base. Yeah, I suppose it is a bit timbre looking, isn't it? It's a real weighty radio. There's a lot of weight to it. And I don't know what the weight of it is, but I couldn't hold it there for very long. So yeah, it's a really lovely radio. I would definitely recommend getting one of those. And Sean, it's saved on my favourite searches as well, so you'll have to race me if you want it. But yeah, I don't really need another one. They made them in cloth as well, so instead of it being the wood case like this, they're available. If you look it up on the Radio Museum, you'll see there's 2 different types. This part is like a vinyl on the top and bottom. I can't remember what the grill is now on it. But yeah, this is available in 2 different versions, the wooden one and the vinyl one. This is definitely the best of the 2, but the only other one I've ever seen for sale was the vinyl one. I've never seen another one of these for sale. It's definitely worth looking out for. Real beauty. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? It's rosewood as well. It's this dark wood, and the Danish wool I put on it, I think I only put 2 coats on it. I normally put 3 on these, but I only put 2. It didn't need a lot doing. But yeah, the wooden one is definitely the best of the bunch. No, there's no dial light on this. I think the problem with dial lights, Rob, is that they use the batteries, so you often find that the dial lights are only available on sets that have got mains input on them. And a lot of the ones, I think there's one I've got here somewhere. In fact, no, it's one I'm working on now. The lights will come on if you put the mains power on, but they won't come on if you put batteries in. You've got to physically push the light button, and it's not got a lock. You just push it in and you let it go, and it turns the lights off again. So it's all to do with battery life, that really. So a lot of these battery transistors haven't got lights on them. I don't think any of the hackers have got lights on them. Any more for any more? Because I've been up here a bit too long now. Look, I've got to see my missus because she's been away all weekend. She'll be asleep down their house. Turn my power supply off. Well, that's pretty much it then for today, I think. Next week, I'm not sure what to do. It depends what comes in. Depends if I get time to do any more. Yeah, Cody's, it's like that. They don't like latching because if you leave it on, your batteries run down, and like these are expensive. Well, I say that these are about £3.5, £4 each now, aren't they? These PP9s. Not heard of a Stern Elite though. Yeah, Sanguine and that. I mean, my Texans probably got it, but then they're using a much beefier battery. It's got more amperage available, I spare. Cheers for that, Sean. Next week, I don't know. I could do video on how I'm getting on with the stuff I've done, or we could look at a specific make of radio if you want to see some of my collection. If you let me know what you want to see, I could do like a run through of the hackers from the first one to the last one. I think I haven't got them all, but I've got most of them. I've also picked up a couple white hackers recently, so I can show you those. Yeah, again, I've got loads and loads of Roberts radios. I haven't got the early Roberts radios. I've got a couple Roberts Volve radios, but not a lot. Certainly got a lot of the newer ones. So yeah, if anyone wants to see any specific radios, if you leave it in the comments. Cheers, Graham. Thanks for joining me, mate. 3 o'clock, is it now? Talk you through repairing a Roberts R77, Rob. Well, R77 is a Volve radio. That's the one that looks like it's in a binocular case from memory. I've never seen one. Well, I've seen pictures of them, but I've never had one. And really, with those, to be fair, it's just a case of changing the capacitors. Possibly change the selenium rectifier out if it's got one of those in it. Thanks very much for joining me, Graham. Anyway, all the way from New Zealand. But, hopefully you haven't got to get up too early, mate. Cheers for now. So I'm going to leave it there. As I say, if anyone wants to leave any comments in the comments section underneath, I have got PayPal available now. For those that were asking about Patreon. Patreon's still going strong. Still got quite a few patrons. Not an awful lot, but you know, everyone's welcome. And I appreciate any help that I can get. Thanks again to Andy for donating that bush. I'm going to enjoy getting that one sorted. I think that'll make a cracking little radio. I'll see if I can fix the plastic as well on it. See if I can put a little bit in that corner there. Tidy that up a bit. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me live today. And anyone watching it afterwards, as I say, leave comments below. Brilliant. And see you all again probably next Sunday. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But I'll see if I can get on every Sunday if it's something that people want. Cheers for now. Cheers, Goodies. You got Ferranti 1937. Fancy having a go? Oh, I'll have a go at anything, Rob. I'll have a go at anything. But whether I can do anything with it or not, it's another thing. But yeah, I do repair radios for customers. So if anyone's got something they need repairing, they can always send it to me for a look. I can give you an idea what it's likely to cost. It ain't going to be a fortune because I don't charge a massive amount. But anyway, cheers for now, and catch you again probably next week. Bye for now.